I did an interview yesterday on BBC Arabic, and the presenter kept asking me about American sanctions against the UK and Europe. And I corrected the presenter. I said, it's not sanctions we're talking about here, it's trade barriers. And as the United States starts to offer to raise tariffs against some EU countries and against the UK, the question was, what's going to happen? And the answer to that is fairly straightforward. If the United States government is going to increase a sales tax on imported goods, then the American people can approve it or not, and US Congress appears to be happy with the president imposing tariffs. We are going to hear about the Supreme Court's decision as to whether the president has the power to impose this particular set of taxes. And we are also going to see that the White House will suggest that the Greenland national security requirement will constitute a separate emergency and will therefore mean that this set of tariffs will require a different lawsuit if anybody wants to stop them, so long as Congress is happy with the new tariffs. The tariffs, of course, are going to raise the price of British goods and EU goods to American consumers. That will exert a downward pressure on the prices of those goods at the wholesale level, but that won't necessarily have direct impact on the sellers. I'll explain what I mean by that. If Jaguar Land Rover in Warwickshire in the UK find that the price of a Range Rover in North Carolina has gone up, they might lower the wholesale price of the Range Rover to make it more affordable to the US consumer. They might decide that it's a luxury good. There is enough price elasticity that the American consumer will pay more for a Range Rover. Because it's a luxury good, in fact, the American consumer might enjoy paying more, might appreciate paying more for the Range Rover because it adds to its cachet. Or alternatively, Jaguar Land Rover might discover that the United States is not the right place to sell that Range Rover because the American consumer won't want to pay that price. And if that's the case, you know where Jaguar Land Rover sells so many of their products is to China. So just as we've seen the Canadian government get friendlier with China around trade, I think we're going to see European governments and the UK government get a bit friendlier with China around trade. This is not just because China's got money and they'll buy Range Rovers. It's also because China is ultra reliable. So there is not a linear effect of US tariffs around the Greenland issue. Raising tariffs is not going necessarily to result in economic pain for the European countries that have those tariffs imposed. It's not a sanctions regime, and it could very well result in strengthening China, regardless of what American intentions were.